Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world with me, Deepika, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Jamaica braces for world's strongest storm of this year as brutal winds begin lashing the Caribbean nation as catastrophic Category 5 storm. Malaysia nears landfall, thousands evacuated amid warnings of mass destructions. India's President Draupadi Murmu unveils strategic solar vision at ISA Assembly, reaffirms India's global clean energy leadership, says solar energy fuels economic growth and social empowerment. US President Donald Trump and Japanese Prime Minister signed framework agreement on rare earth critical mineral supply. Both the leaders lavish praise on each other. After Trump's 48-hour warning, Hamas returns body of another deceased hostage. Remains of 12 hostages still held in Gaza. Israel lifts state of emergency near Gaza border for the first time since 2023. And tensions simmer between US and Venezuela as US flies B-1B bombers over Caribbean. Caracas announces immediate suspension of energy agreements with Trinidad and Tobago over hosting US naval warship. Good afternoon to all the viewers joining us at this afternoon broadcast. To begin with the latest, Jamaica braces for the world's strongest storm of the year and possibly the strongest on record for the island, with US meteorologists warning of catastrophic and life-threatening conditions. Category 5 Hurricane Malaysia is intensifying and expected to make a landfall on the Caribbean island later today. We get you details in our next report on warnings and precautions in place.
It is the churning of what many are already describing the world's strongest storm ever. Category 5 Hurricane Malaysia. Already, authorities are saying that the destruction would be on an unimaginable scale and it could devastate western and southern Jamaica completely. The warning was extended by Jamaican Prime Minister, who underlined that there is no infrastructure within the region that could withstand such a monster storm, warning of significant dislocation.
In a time of disaster, we must take a zero-fail approach to the systems that we are building. So in as much as I'm talking to the public, I'm also talking to the heads of the institutions that are gathered here. Make greater effort to ensure that there is zero fail in our operations.
Monster Hurricane Malaysia is expected to hit western part of Jamaica Tuesday evening around 17:30 Indian Standard Time, before moving across to eastern Cuba and the Bahamas. Weathermen has warned that Melissa's slow pace means it is set to dump torrential rain of as much as 3 feet on affected areas, increasing the risk of deadly flooding and landslides. Experts fear it could cause lengthy power and communications outages, along with extensive infrastructural damage.
The forward speed of Melissa is going to increase and the eye is going to start to move very quickly across the island. And this is going to lead to widespread infrastructure damage, prolonged power outages, communication outages, and isolated communities. It's going to be a very dangerous post-storm environment.
Many parts of the Caribbean island are already witnessing unprecedented strong winds and heavy rains, necessitating evacuation of over 250,000 people to the shelters. After passing over Jamaica, the storm is forecast to head north and cross over eastern Cuba on Tuesday night, while continuing to bring rains and heavy winds to Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Cuba has evacuated over 500,000 people living in coastal and mountainous areas and cancelled schools and transport across the eastern part. Melissa has already been blamed for at least 4 deaths in Haiti and the Dominican Republic this week, as its outer bands brought heavy rains and landslides. The Dominican Republic's Emergency Operations Center has placed 9 of the 31 provinces on red alert due to a risk of flash floods, rising rivers, and landslides. Hurricane warnings have also been issued for the central and southeastern Bahamas, where authorities have ordered evacuations. However, Hurricane Melissa is not forecast to reach the US mainland. Bureau Report, DD India.
Meanwhile, in India, Cyclone Montha is intensifying over the Bay of Bengal and is expected to make a landfall on the coastal regions of Andhra Pradesh and Odisha on Tuesday evening. The IMD has issued a red alert for Andhra Pradesh and Odisha's coastal region. The severe cyclonic storm is forecast to bring maximum sustained winds of 90 to 100 kilometers per hour, gusting up to 110 kilometers per hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi assured full central support to Andhra Pradesh and Odisha. The authorities have ordered immediate evacuation of the residents from low-lying and coastal areas to rehabilitation centres, ensuring safe drinking water, quality food and dedicated officers to oversee relief operations. Rescue teams are on a high alert and ready for relief and restoration. In Andhra Pradesh, advanced technology is being used for real-time cyclone alerts through a pilot system, broadcasting alert across 26 coastal villages. The 360-degree horn speakers ensure continuous alerts, with plans to expand coverage and integrate SMS, IVR, and on-ground communication for wider public safety. Meanwhile, multiple trains and flights have been cancelled as a precautionary measure. Currently, Cyclone Montha is moving north and northwestwards over the Bay of Bengal, and heavy rainfall is likely to affect Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and the neighbouring regions over the coming number of days. Let's take a closer look at the characteristics of a hurricane and how a hurricane is formed. Well, these powerful storms are known by size, speed and spin, which is defined by different names. A hurricane has an average height of 8 to 10 kilometers and is as wide as 500 to 650 kilometers, moving at around 65 kilometers per hour. Now, in the southern hemisphere, the hurricane rotates clockwise and anti-clockwise in the northern hemisphere. Known as cyclones in southern Pacific Ocean, hurricane in North Atlantic and East Pacific Oceans and typhoon in Northwest Pacific, these storms unleash immense power across the oceans. Now, warm sea water evaporates and the moist air rises into the atmosphere, creating a region of low pressure. So, as more air is drawn in, towering cumulonimbus clouds form around this central depression. The Earth's rotation through the Coriolis effect causes the rising air to spin, shaping the storm into a rotating column with a calm, dry eye at its center. The spiraling winds move inwards and upwards, releasing heat and moisture that continuously fuel and strengthen the hurricane system. So now you know what makes exactly a hurricane. Moving on. India's leadership is in sharp focus at the 8th session of the International Solar Alliance Assembly, which is underway at New Delhi's Bharat Mandapam. President Draupadi Murmu today delivered the first ever presidential keynote to the ISA Assembly, reinforcing India's commitment to the founding vision of One World, One Sun, One Grid, showcasing nation's recent achievements in solar power deployment. She also said solar energy fuels economic growth and social empowerment.
As the host country and the current president of the ISA Assembly, India takes great pride in bringing together the member countries on the common platform. The ISA stands as a symbol of humanity's shared aspiration to harness solar energy as a source of inclusion, dignity and collective prosperity.
And now let's dive deeper into what is the International Solar Alliance and what are its objectives. Well, the ISA is a collaborative initiative between India and France aimed at uniting efforts to combat climate change by implementing solar energy solutions. It was conceptualized on the sidelines of COP21 in Paris in 2015. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the architect of this initiative. Following a 2020 amendment to its framework agreement, all United Nations member states are now eligible to join the alliance. And India has consistently held the position of ISA president. Currently, 100 plus countries are signatories, with 90 plus countries having ratified to become the full members. 9 programs across 53 member countries. ISA is helping ease the solar deployment. Its mission is to unlock $1 trillion in solar investments by the year 2030 while reducing technology and financing costs. Now, this ambitious plan aims to provide energy access to 1 billion people and install 1,000 gigawatts of solar energy capacity. Now, this would significantly mitigate global carbon emissions, reducing 1,000 million tons of carbon dioxide annually. ISA works with governments to improve energy access and security worldwide and promote solar power as a sustainable transition to carbon-neutral future. India achieved 50% of its total installed electricity generation capacity from non-fossil fuel sources 5 years ago, ahead of its target of 2030. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has promoted ISA's mission through his One World, One Sun, One Grid initiative. And India is the world's 3rd largest solar producer and the world's 2nd largest market for renewable energy growth. More than 20 lakh households have already been benefiting from solar power on their rooftop under PM Surya Ghar Muft Yojana. Moving on, the Phase 2 of Special Intensive Provision or SIR of electoral rolls will begin in 12 states and union territories across India from Tuesday. India's Chief Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar on Monday said that this revision is aimed to make electoral rolls more transparent and error-free. The CEC also highlighted that the poll body received 0 appeals in the first phase of SIR.
Andamans and Nicobar Island, Union Territory, State Chhattisgarh, Goa, Gujarat, Kerala, Union Territory Lakshadweep, Madhya Pradesh, Puducherry Union Territory, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal. इन 12 राज्यों में कुल मतदाता 51 करोड़ के लगभग हैं. लगभग 5,33,000 बूथ लेवल ऑफिसर्स इस महान कार्य में अपना योगदान देंगे. लगभग 7,64,000 बूथ लेवल एजेंट्स जो पार्टीज द्वारा नामित हैं वो इसमें अपना योगदान देंगे और लगभग 10,500 EROs और लगभग 321 कलेक्टर्स. ये पूरी चुनावी कर्मियों की जो टीम है वो इस SIR की फेज 2 में कार्य करेगी और इसको सफल बनाएगी.
India takes big strides in smartphone export. The export has increased multiple times in the last decade. Minister for Electronics and Information Technology, Ashwini Vaishnaw, posted on X, and I quote him here, smartphone exports hit new records of $1.8 billion in September 2025. Electronic items are now ranked 3rd largest among all exported goods from India. With electronics component manufacturing taking roots in India, the growth of electronics will generate thousands of new jobs, unquote. Well, the sector is on its track to become the country's 2nd largest exported item. Moving on, in Indian markets, Multi-Commodity Exchange, the Commodity Derivatives Exchange, suspended trading operations due to technical failure, delaying trading operations by 30 minutes at first, but the exchange is still not open. Trading started at 9:30 a.m. according to Indian Standard Time instead of 9 from the Disaster Recovery Center. Well, this incident occurred a day after MCX launched options trading in bull decks. MCX recently switched to new trading software developed by TCS. The exchange has faced similar technical issues in the past. In July, trading was delayed by more than an hour. In February of the previous year, a major glitch suspended operations for 4 hours. The exchange has issued an update on the commencement, and the time of commencement of trading will be informed to the market participants. SEBI has established guidelines for exchanges to follow during technical glitches, which could lead to increased oversight. And to get you more on this, I'm joined by DD India correspondent from Mumbai, Shama Mishra. Shama, good afternoon. Tell us the reason for this failure, the technical glitch in the TCS software, and also by what time are we expecting the process to resume?
Good afternoon, Deepika. Now, with the latest update that has been given at on the MCX website is of 11:49 a.m. and it's still that the commencement of trading is delayed due to technical issue, and trading will start from the DR side, which is the disaster recovery side. The time of commencement has still not been informed to the market participants, but they've said that it will be informed shortly to the market participants. But seeing the glitch and seeing the manner, we are expecting that there'll be further delay of a few more hours on this particular platform, because as you've mentioned earlier as well, we have seen similar glitches, technical glitches on the derivatives exchange, and that has lasted for hours. So we understand that the market participants are currently worried, but yes, they have started their trading from the DR side, which is the disaster recovery side, and so the specified time has not been, the revised time basically has not been specified, and they have been giving these updates on their website, which is from time to time, but it is still saying that it will not, it has not started yet. It will still take more time. Also, there are other stockbroking websites like Zerodha and other sites which have been continuously informing their consumers, their people, that it's taking time, and once update is ready, they will be sharing it. That is what we've understood, and once it is completely ready or the glitch has been understood, we are expecting that a statement from their end would be issued so as to make it more clear what was the technical glitch, what was the manner of it, and how much furthermore delay it might cause to the market participants.
All right. Thank you so much, Rama, for joining us and getting us the latest on this business update. Moving on. US President Donald Trump and Japan Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi on Tuesday signed a framework agreement for securing the supply of critical minerals and rare earths through mining and processing. The countries plan to cooperate through use of economic policy tools and coordinated investment to accelerate development of diversified, liquid and fair markets for critical minerals and rare earths. Donald Trump praised Takaichi's elevation as the country's first female leader and her pledge to accelerate a military build-up. A similar close relationship with leader of Japan's key security and trade partner could help Takaichi bolster her political position at home. She in turn also expressed her desire to realize a new golden age of Japan-US alliance with Trump. And he said that Washington is an ally of the strongest level.
We are an ally at the strongest level, and it's a great honor to be with you, especially so early in what will be, I think, one of the greatest prime ministers.
Trump also met with the families of Japanese abducted by North Korea decades ago and said the US is with them all the way as they asked for help to find their loved ones. Donald Trump is due to deliver a speech on Tuesday on the USS George Washington aircraft carrier docked at the US naval base Yokosuka. He will also have dinner with business leaders, likely including the chairman of car maker Toyota. Now, this comes as Trump, on the second leg of his Asia tour, met with Takaichi. The talks focused on trade and security, a week after the hardline conservative became Japan's first female leader and vowed to accelerate a military build-up. Trump arrived in Tokyo on Monday for a visit sandwiched between a trip to Malaysia and a meeting in South Korea with Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping that could ease the bruising trade war between the world's two biggest economies, sparked by sweeping US tariffs. Talking about the car industry, it accounts for around 8% of jobs in Japan, and most Japanese imports into the United States are subject to tariffs of 15%, which is less painful than the 25% first threatened, but still contributing to a 24% slump in US-bound car exports in September in value terms year-on-year. Moving on to West Asia now. Hamas on Monday handed over the remains of another deceased hostage. Hamas faces mounting pressure to return all the bodies promised under the Gaza ceasefire. Israeli forces received a coffin set to contain the 16th of 28 hostages killed in the 7th of October 2023 attack. Israeli officials and families of captives are urging Hamas to speed up the transfers, which have slowed since the release of 20 living hostages. Hamas says it is committed to the ceasefire and insists it is trying to return all the remaining bodies, 11 Israelis and 2 workers from Thailand and Tanzania, but that the search has been hampered by destruction wrought on Gaza during the conflict. In recent days, Egypt has sent recovery teams and heavy machinery into Gaza with Israel's approval to aid the search, joined by Red Cross workers. Meanwhile, Israel has lifted the state of emergency on Monday for areas near the border with Gaza for the first time since Hamas's October 2023 attack. The state of emergency, which was active up to 80 kilometers from Gaza in southern Israel, granted the authorities special powers to maintain public order and ensure civilian safety. The same state of emergency was temporarily expanded to the whole of Israel in June 2025 after Israeli strikes on Iran that prompted retaliatory missile launches from the Islamic Republic. Tensions escalated on Monday after 2 US B-1B bombers conducted a flight over the Caribbean near Venezuela, which is the third display of military power in recent weeks. According to flight tracking site Flight Radar 24, the bombers departed from a base in North Dakota and flew parallel to Venezuela's coastline before vanishing from the radar. Now, this follows a similar B-1B mission last week and a B-52 flight earlier this month, underscoring Washington's intent to ramp up pressure on President Maduro's government. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro announced on Monday that his country is halting energy cooperation with Trinidad and Tobago, including the ongoing joint natural gas projects. During a televised address, Maduro said the oil ministry and state-owned company PDVSA had submitted a proposal to suspend the cooperation agreement, which he approved. The suspension takes effect immediately, he added, noting that Venezuela's Congress and Supreme Court would be consulted for further guidance. Maduro criticized Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamla Persad Cesar for what he called a pro-US policy stance. Persad Cesar, who assumed office on the 1st of May, has maintained close ties with the administration of US President Donald Trump amid rising tensions between Washington and the Caracas. Maduro has repeatedly accused the United States of attempting to oust him from power. His remarks came a day after US warship docked in Trinidad, following Washington's announcement that it would deploy an aircraft carrier group to Latin America. Now, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamla Persad Cesar on Monday rejected Venezuela's threat to end a joint gas project over her government's decision to host a US warship. Persad Cesar declared that she would not yield to what she described as Venezuelan blackmail and emphasized that her government would continue its fight against drug cartels. She added that Trinidad and Tobago's future had never depended on Venezuela, following the docking of the USS Gravely off the island for joint military exercises. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.